Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we've got loads of Batman, starting with the rundown.
Plus, Nightwing himself, yes, Scott Porter, talks to me, yes, me, about Arkham Knight.
And then I show you some of the coolest toys from the recent San Diego Comic-Con. Also coming up, we review the latest version of Lego Batman Beyond Gotham from the floor of the con. Jose and Ben fiddle with the new game Nero, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. I'm not going to hurt you, but I am going to give you the rundown. Here it is. My favorite superhero is going to be kicking butt in not one, but two big movies next year. Over the weekend at the massive San Diego Comic-Con, Warner Brothers released new footage from Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice and the villainous Suicide Squad movie. Ben Affleck will appear as the Cape Crusader in both films, obviously in a starring role in Batman vs. Superman, and in a smaller cameo appearance in Suicide Squad. The new footage also gives us our first good look at Will Smith as Deadshot, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and Jared Leto as the new Joker.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Pretty creepy, but it remains to be seen if he'll be better than Heath Ledger. Suicide Squad hits theaters in August 2016, a few months after Batman vs. Superman lands in March. And one upcoming DC superhero movie that wasn't at the San Diego Comic-Con is Green Lantern. The upcoming big screen outing for the outer space do-gooder will be called Green Lantern Corps, probably to help distinguish it from the failed Ryan Reynolds movie. There's still no official word about who will star in the film, but Star Trek Captain Chris Pine is rumored to be playing Hal Jordan. Given the title, don't be surprised if other members of the Green Lantern Corps show up as well. The film arrives in 2020, so they still have plenty of time to figure things out. So the Green Lantern Corps, here to help me talk about that is Marissa Roberto. Does that excite you? Do you know anything about the Green Lantern Corps?
I don't want to be disappointed.
Yes.
Do I know a lot about the Green Lantern Corps? No,
No.
not at all. Do I want to know? Sure, but I also don't want the movie to be terrible.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened with the Ryan Reynolds movie. It is probably, if not the worst, it's one of the worst superhero movies that's ever been made.
So glad.
I loved the core stuff, though. I liked Sinestro, and I liked all of the sort of training stuff that they shot on Oa. I thought that was really cool. And I like these really crazy alien lanterns.
Yeah.
I think they're fantastic on screen. And that was the only moment in that movie where I was like, yeah, this could work. This could really work.
You know what? Actually, if it's going to be Chris Pine,
Yeah.
I'll be okay with that.
I think
Because it
he'd
should be Chris Pine.
I think he'd be a good Hal Jordan. And fingers are crossed, you know. I don't know if that kind of comedic, kind of sarcastic, sassy kind of vibe that would make that be amazing is going to fit in with the Batman versus Superman universe.
I don't know, Vic. These trailers, they fool me into thinking that it's going to be something that it's not, and I don't want to buy into it.
I'm kind of happy with the way that they're handling the reveal of all of this stuff. And I have to say that Ben Affleck, looking up as buildings are shattering all around him and just that anger in his face, that felt very Bruce Wayne to me. And when he's running into the dust cloud, I thought that was pretty damn cool. The Suicide Squad stuff, I'm still on the fence for. What do you think?
Oh, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
No, another one of those trailers that, this looks like it could be good, but it might not be when I go and sit down. I mean, I absolutely love Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
I love her, and I'm so happy that she's Harley Quinn, but I don't know. I don't know how the rest of it's going to go. They mostly just showed her the whole time in the trailer, so.
Little hint of Jared Leto, and I think he
Yeah.
physically looks terrific as the Joker, but it's going to be so hard for us to forget about Heath Ledger.
Oh, I
and
know.
all of the other characters look kind of cosplay-y to me, you know? Like it's that it could be fun, and I could be I can turn around on this 100%. I'll tell you what, if Batman vs. Superman is amazing,
Yeah.
I'll be very psyched to see what happens as the follow-up with Suicide Squad.
Well, we shall see, Victor Lucas.
We shall see. But right now, we've got to check in with Nightwing and Arkham Knight. Here's Friday Night Lights' Scott Porter talking to us about working on the game.
You will bring death to all who follow you.
I am here with Scott Porter, vaunted actor and now video game actor. You're one of the many voices in Batman, Arkham Knight. Tell me, what was that like creating this character?
I mean, it was awesome. I'm a huge fan of Nightwing in the first place. To even be asked to play him or embody him in a game was incredible. But my first moments in the booth, Kevin Conroy's voice is in my headset. They'd already recorded some of his lines, and the initial line is just like, Nightwing, I need information on this thing. And I was like, completely spaced. Brain just froze. It glitched. I glitched a little bit because I just been listening to him ever since I was a kid watching the animated series and then all of the games, and such a huge fan of the Rocksteady games that they put out already with Asylum and City, and it's been an amazing ride.
Where is he?
Obviously, Rocksteady doing a great job with Batman right now. It's definitely got the train on the tracks moving forward. Is this something you want to do more of in the future? Do you feel like there's got to be more Nightwing going forward?
I don't know if there's going to be more Nightwing going forward. I've done a couple of voices for Warner Brothers games in the DC universe. I voiced Superboy for them and Aquaman for them in different projects, and now Nightwing. So I would love to do more of that. I would love if it transitioned anywhere. If I was able to play Dick Grayson a little bit further, that would be awesome.
You're a genuine gamer without a doubt.
Yeah, no, I've been a gamer for years. My Xbox gamer score is over 100K. Wow. So, I mean, you know, I'm a dedicated gamer. I've been playing since I was a kid, and it's just, this is my event of the year. This is my favorite con of the year.
So how does this compare to straight up acting, like the stuff you did on Friday Night Lights?
Man, you know, every project's different. Just like it is on screen, just like it is on stage. Every single game is different. I voiced a pretty big character for a Telltale game, and they're very conversational. You rewrite your lines on the fly, and there's multiple choices of how a player can play. And then there's a game like Arkham where you trust the studio that's making it. You trust how they've cared for these characters and curated this world for Batman, and you just go and you say your lines, and you can hear legends in your headphones.
Always great to have Scott Porter on the show. He's as big of a nerd for this stuff as I am, and I know he likes Batman almost as much as me.
Almost as much as you, but listen, you know what? You love toys, and we have a bunch of toys coming up after this.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Marissa and Roberto, you were in San Diego last weekend with Victor Lucas. Now, this guy, if I know him, was shopping for toys. Did you happen to see him pick up any little fascinating, colorful objects?
Are you kidding me? Every time I saw Victor Lucas, well, we were together, then we separated for a little while, and every time I saw him,
separated.
Yeah, every time I saw him, he'd have a new toy or something else in his bag of goodies. I think he has a problem. We should stage an intervention.
Oh, he definitely has a problem.
Let's save that for Vic's basement. Right now, let's take a look at Victor's toy experience at Comic-Con.
I've been coming to Comic-Con for many, many years, and you know we love covering all the comics and movies and TV shows and video games that are here, but one thing I always gravitate towards are the toys. I want to find my favorite toys of Comic-Con 2015. DC Collectibles is always a favorite stop for me, and of course this year it's about Batman versus Superman. They've got large-scale figures based on that. Nice articulation, nice detail. I never noticed that the boots on the armored Batman have the little fangs that he has on his gauntlets, which is kind of cool. The Man of Steel we've seen before with the costume, but it still looks impressive. And also the Wonder Woman costuming and detail is amazing. Another thing that I'm really digging from DC Collectibles is their designer line. They've got toys based on Darwin Cook's designs on some of the characters. It was great to see an Adam Strange figure in there. And we've got Greg Capullo's Joker, which is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And Lee Bermejo has got some incredible designs. I really am a big fan of his Batman sculpt. And if you're a longtime Batmaniac like I am, you'll be really happy to see what DC Collectibles is working on with the animated series stuff. They've got a bunch of figures from the line, and now they've got a 2-scale Batmobile from the old show, and it looks incredible. Lego's always got a huge presence here at the con. This year they're showing off a new Lego Stormtrooper for The Force Awakens. Looks incredible. There's an amazing statue of the Hulkbuster armor and the Hulk going at it. But the thing that caught my eye, of course, is something that we're going to be able to buy. It's the new Batmobile from Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice with a tiny little Lego minifig of the new Ben Affleck Batman, which looks really cool. I love the design of the new suit and the new car. They both get my thumbs up. I can't wait for that. The Square Enix booth is always a standout for me every year at Comic-Con, and this year they've outdone themselves. It looks like a lot of the license holders have been paying attention to what these guys do. Very fantastical recreations of some of our favorite characters. A couple of standouts are Hawkman, which I've never seen realized in toy form quite like this before. Absolutely stunning detail. Love the gold armor. Love all of the flashy bits around that. And obviously there's a whole bunch of other DC sort of stuff related around round Hawkman. We've got an awesome Harley Quinn and Joker. Lots of variations on Batman, including a Wild West one and an ancient Sparta Batman, which is crazy. But they've also got the Marvel lineup in here as well now. So we've got a very futuristic, incredibly detailed looking Iron Man. But I think what's even cooler than that, and something else that's really a standout in toy form, is the Thor that they've got sculpted here, which doesn't come out until later this year. Thor looks absolutely epic. I overheard one of the people taking a look at it saying that's almost too epic. And I think that's a pretty concise way to take a look at that. They've also got an early look at the Batman versus Superman figures that they're working on. And of course, some Phantom Pain, some Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain figures. Incredible detail. Definitely some of the best toys here at the con for sure. You're going to see a lot more from us from Comic-Con, and you're going to see a lot more toy coverage on EP because it's never been a better time to be a toy collector.
Oh man, Victor Lucas loves his toys. So you know what? That's just part one of a two-part toy series from Victor Lucas, I know.
Well, moving right along, let's get back to the reviews arena. We've got Ben and Jose standing by. They've got a game called Nero. Here they are.
Boobs and I are always looking for interesting indie games to play on our consoles, and we found one that looked very interesting. We'll find out if it's actually any good. This is a game called Nero, $20, downloaded onto your Xbox One. And Jose, it's got an Avatar vibe to it. Is the game any cool?
This is a very, at first you're like, what exactly is happening? You show up as this character, you look like you're from Journey, and you're traveling through this very dark world, brightened up by this crazy, like, iridescent, illuminated plants and animals.
Yeah,
and
it looks like something out of Avatar.
very Avatar-esque, right? And you're walking around, you're like, hey, there's a piece of a photo, let me take that, add this to the thing. This will be important eventually later. Maybe. And then you just end up walking around, searching things, there's stuff written on the wall, so I'm like, it's very Splinter Cell-like. Okay, this is gonna get interesting.
You are naming so many awesome games right now, and you're about to pull the rug out.
Yeah,
just keep going.
I have to mention all these awesome games
my
because this
God.
game was just, it's so dull to me.
Her love didn't rest on any foundation. It became an endless ocean with no beginning or end.
Yeah.
After like 2 hours of roaming around, you come across a companion, you're like, all right, now things are gonna get interesting. No, you can just do the same things you were already doing, but have your companion stand on a rock while you're doing it to be like, all right, you stand on that, I'm gonna throw a beam into that ball. Oh, nailed it! Oh, and then you get a little bit of story, and then it's just the same kind of puzzles over and over again until you're just bored out of your mind and bleeding out of your eyes.
You know, you actually make it sound better than it is.
I know.
I gotta say, you've really upsold this game. You said Fireballs, you said Journey, you said Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Okay, I want everybody to forget about all those things. Because this is the deal. This game is pretty much a Rickroll, man. That's how I felt when I turned it on. Because first, it loads up with the longest loading screen I have endured in a downloadable game ever on my Xbox One. And I'm thinking,
feels pretty good.
this is gonna load one hell of a game because it's just chugging. It's a 2 gig download. It's just going like there. I'm in a minute. It's still loading the beginning of the game. Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, we're gonna get
And
some epic intro.
And then right when it starts to crank up, it's never gonna give you up, never gonna. And I'm like, no, I got Rickrolled. Because it's so janky. Like you take 2 steps, the first steps you take, it's like the frame rate just drops to 10 or something.
Yeah, right?
It is the worst moving looking game I have played on my Xbox One. I was stunned by how terribly this game functions, just in its basic functionality. Not only does it stutter when you try to move anywhere, but the movement speed of this character
So slow.
so slow.
And then you find out you can run later, you're like, yes, this is gonna be good. And his running goes from,
You're so slow still. You're like on the moon underwater wearing cement boots.
it's because
or
you're wearing a
something. I don't
giant
know.
cloak. You can't be hard, or it can't be easy to run.
You're moving so slow, and there's nothing to do.
No.
So you're like slowly moving through a empty world, staring at writing. Trying to even look around at things like, I wonder what's up there. And you're like, oh, look, it's a plant. Oh, that was worth it. Like, why am I doing this?
This game is just absolutely not fun, and it's unfortunate because it's $20, which is a hefty price tag for a downloadable game. First
No
off,
control.
no
Broken
controls.
frame rate. Lame story. $20. $20. You win the Price of the Year award.
Well, I for one am completely done talking about Nero. I'm gonna give it up. So what are you gonna give the game?
Well, Nero rhymes with 0, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 1.
I'll give it a 1.5. Just cause
Someone's got to be nice here.
I like Avatar, and I mentioned all those other fun games.
Bravo, boys! It's nice to see a little bit of hatred on the show, not coming from me.
Aw, that must be so nice for you. You're like part of a special club. Don't go anywhere because after the break, we've got a review of Lego Batman Beyond Gotham from the Comic-Con floor.
Maybe we should contact Martian Manhunter to check it out from the Watchtower.
Yeah, go contact him on the Justice League communicator.
Oh, okay, sure.
EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Asphalt 8 Airborne, which you can play on your Android or iOS device for free right now. Batfleck has made a big appearance here at Comic-Con 2015, but Lego Batman is everywhere to be found as well. We recently took a look at the Lego Batman Beyond Gotham.
I'm gonna smash you real good.
But this time on the iOS platform.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Well, I've played a few Lego games on the iOS platform. One of note was the Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter game that came out, and I played that. And my biggest gripe was the controls.
Yeah.
Now, this game has so many different controls to juggle through.
Yes, it does.
But when you're jumping into a game like this on the iOS device, it is very difficult to navigate.
Yeah.
I feel like they did try to make the controls better here. They did try to make the navigation a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it was still so freaking frustrating. I can't even tell you how annoyed I was trying to play this game, at least at first. Like, it takes so long to actually get the hang of the swapping, and this constantly, like, you want to move Batman, and like Robin just happens to be close by.
Yeah.
So the second you tap something around Robin, it switches to Robin. I don't want that.
Some concessions have been made. I think one of the smart things is that you don't have the larger areas that you got off the console game. And it's also not one of these Tony Hawk style, beat the level, check off all the objectives kind of things, which is great. This is closer to what the console Batman experience is, but also hemmed in a bit more so that it's better for a kind of pick up and play kind of mobile experience. With the amazing cutscenes and all that stuff, it all looks fantastic on your phone or your iPad. But you're right, the control is an issue. One thing that I would say in the plus column is this is another one of those controller-enabled games, so I was playing with my controller. But it's not perfect even there because there's still a lot of touchscreen functionality embedded into playing this with the controller.
That is a very important note to make because I know you always brag about this controller.
Yes.
Whatever, Victor Lucas, it's fine. You can have your controller.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have the controller and you still have to touch the screen is incredibly irritating.
And there were bugs in the game as well because you'd get frozen in animations. You know, maybe by the time this airs, a lot of that stuff will be addressed in an update.
Possibly.
But it's really cumbersome and clunky. And that really goes against the genuine value and cool, like, fun that's actually in this game. It's actually really cool.
It really takes away from the joy of it because there is so much joy to be had. I mean, you know there's going to be humor in this game.
Maybe we should contact Martian Manhunter to check it out from the Watchtower.
Yeah, go contact him on the Justice League communicator.
Oh, okay, sure. We're doing my idea!
How wonderful.
It's so funny, it's fun, all of those things, but when you have this huge hurdle to jump over, which I feel like we shouldn't even be talking about anymore because I've been doing this now, Victor Lucas, reviewing on the show for 5 years. I just found out today, by the way.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been complaining about
iPhone controls.
Yeah,
I know.
For years now.
And a lot of them in the Lego games, which, you know, we know they're all, I think this is only $6 in the store, and it's definitely worth that $6 in terms of content. But yeah, the controls need to be, especially if you're going to go in on the controller compatibility, go all in and make it feel like a console game.
Okay, well, I'm obviously not going to agree with the controller compatibility thing because I'm not going to play with the controller because I just feel like if you're going to make an iOS game, make it an iOS game and make it perfect with the controls. But it's so difficult to ask for that with a game like this that utilizes so many different controls and the tool belt, and you have the switching between characters up in the corner. There's so many different things for you to touch and swap, but they need all those things. They can't take anything away.
And different characters, some that can fly, you get abilities like a little rocket pack and things like that, and it's packed with content. It's actually a tremendous amount of stuff in there, and I was addicted to the game, and I fought through my control frustrations, but yeah, they're definitely there.
I know, and you're getting this huge game at a fraction of the price that you would pay for on your console, which is also another thing to be said about it for sure.
What would you give as a score for this?
It's
tough, right?
It's really tough to score this because there's a good game there, but I don't want to play it.
I've got a score. I'm going to give it a 7 for what it is right now.
I have to give it a 6.5.
But you need to go into the App Store and complain about it and ask Warner Brothers to update this thing so the controls are
I thought
better.
you were going to say, but you need to buy a controller. Okay, but he didn't say it. That's great.
Thanks, kids. Nice job. Looks like a lot of fun. Something fun for your iPhone to do. And listen, that's not all the fun we have. Coming up next, we've got the Twitter question of the day after this.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is now time for the best part of the show. It is the Twitter question of the day. This one comes from Keegan Valentine. He's at JakeConnor117.
116 must have been taken.
Must have been. He says, Mr. Lucas, I'm familiar with your work on video game journalism. Tell me, do you think Sony should add backwards compatibility?
Thank you for calling me Mr. Lucas.
He loves that.
It's so weird to hear that. But Keegan, yes, I think we are all in agreement now that Xbox has dropped the gauntlet with Xbox 360 backwards compatibility in the Xbox One. 100% Sony should offer backwards compatibility and also some way to authenticate previous releases that you already own working in the system, just like Xbox 360 and Xbox One are doing right now.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you didn't ask me. He specifically said Mr.
Yeah, well,
Lucas.
don't you think so?
Of course I think so. Are you
Yes.
kidding me? I would absolutely love that to play all those games on my PS4.
Yeah,
of course.
PlayStation Now is really cool, but
Yeah.
you should be able to play the games you already own.
For sure.
And remember, you can get caught up on full episodes, ask us questions, anything you'd like to do at epn.tv.
We've got more coming for you in the next episode of EP Daily, including a bunch more stuff from the Comic-Con floor.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox.
Obviously, we have to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
We have to talk about Star Wars. We're at Comic-Con. Okay, so Hall H erupts.
Yep.
They give everybody these passes to go to the symphony, the Star Wars Symphony. Are you kidding me? Like, what a
Unbelievable.
treat for fans.